Live. How about that Buffalo Trace distillery going on the
That
water?
is
What the hell's with that?
crazy. That is crazy.
Come on.
On how important do you think 7-on-7 is to you from your point of view?
I think it's more for the offense side of the ball.
Right, and that's how you want to keep it into that system where they know that at some point I want to be the star at Eastside. I want to be the star at
Your head coach does it for you. I feel you're just spending extra money for a recruit.
Hey, to piggyback off that real quick.
Yeah, definitely. Hey now, what's up? The boys are back in town. We are here, another segment, DM Coach's Corner. Loving the respects, loving the interest, loving all of the love we've been getting on this thing, man. Please, people keep tuning in, keep sharing, keep liking, keep subscribing. Make sure you go online on YouTube, Sam Sports. He got us everywhere, man. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. We're just doing it, man. We're just trying to keep putting out great content for everybody to just kind of go out and educate themselves moving forward in their kids, like high school recruiting, little league, and even college, right? So just happy to have everybody that's tuned into the show tonight. And if you ain't tuned in, well, guess what? Got to make sure you get tuned in. But I am the founder of Driven Minds, okay? I'm the host right here, Don Massey Jr. I'm going to be the pretty much the narrator, the curator of the show, trying to make sure that we give you guys a great one. We got some really good topics to talk about tonight. Some really good topics, some stuff going on. College football gonna get shook up. Tune in for that. We also got some other things in high school. The recruiting period is about to open up. So hope you guys are kind of getting right. The coach is about to start traveling around. Spring ball's ending, so they're starting to come out to these high schools. So make sure you guys are locked and loaded. And I know we got some little guys playing 7-on-7 spring football. So hey, don't just play football, man. Got to make sure you're staying trained up. But again, that's me, DM in the building, Sam Sports. Please, Brandon, go ahead and give yourself your own rundown since it's your own network. Do your thing.
Hey, I'm Brandon, BJ, Sarah, however you want to do it. I got promoted to head coach while we was off. Somehow I got promoted to head coach. Then I got to be in the building with these kids. So we're going to talk about that too because thank you. But I got to be in the building with the kids. So I need y'all to let me know. Never mind. We'll talk about that off air. So we're going to talk about the parents first. We're going to say that for next week because I listened to Daniel and Joe. Daniel, we're going to talk about that off air too. But yeah, I'm Brandon. This is the network. Shout out to DM consistently every 2 weeks doing a great and awesome show. Bringing in some numbers, bringing in some great content, bringing in some superstar athletes, some guys that he trained up. Like I know DM was that old, you know what I mean? He got kids in college, ready to go to the league and whatnot, you know what I mean? Like look at him, he still look young, whatnot, you know what I mean?
That's messed up, man. That's how you had to do me, huh? That's cool. As you already know, man. Look, we just trying to make sure that we're giving the people what they need. And I believe this network has been the best at that. I believe that's why we're probably going to be one of the best shows on your network. So welcome and thank you for having me. Yep. That's right. But you already know. Can't forget about my guy right next to me, Dan the Man. Speak on it, man. Talk about it. Chamberlain
I
football
think that
consultant. What we got?
when this got tagged, there was an MF between those names.
Yeah, I'm working on this producer, man. Good help, hard to find, Dan. You know, it's what I got here, right? So
It is what it is.
Crazy.
It is what it is. I like it. Hi everyone. I'm Coach Daniel Chamberlain. I'm Northeast Oklahoma. I think I'm the only guy here that's not like. Are you all Maryland and Jersey and yeah?
Jersey in the house.
yeah.
East Coast. I'm
No,
in Garden
you gotta
time
do it
zone
right.
over here
You
in the
gotta do it right,
Central.
Mike.
So.
Mike, you gotta do it right, Mike. You gotta dig deep. You gotta say it.
Jersey in the house.
Podcaster, you can listen to me on the Football Coaching Podcast, Coaching 101 Podcast.
Yes, sir.
And I sell speed training, athleticspeedmovement.com. You can go over there and learn how to make your centers and your wide receivers and your quarterback and your linebacker and your defensive, all of them run faster. Let's go, athleticspeedmovement.com. Check that out. What else I do? I don't know. I do a ton of stuff. Oh, Chamberlain Football Consulting.
There it is.
Hey, I picked up like my 5th, 6th, 7th, I don't know, client this weekend. I went to a clinic. I spoke to a clinic. Let's go.
Okay.
Boston last
One in
weekend,
Boston.
and then I went yesterday to Milwaukee. So
Milwaukee.
live
The Brew
student
Crew.
Wisconsin. Let me
Yeah.
tell y'all something about Wisconsin. There ain't nothing to do in Wisconsin. They were like drink beer and eat cheese curds. That's it. That's what we do here.
Okay.
Anyway, that's me. Hi guys.
My God. And of course,
All right.
been a while, but
State.
Mike, talk about it.
What's going on, fellas? Thank you guys for having me back again. Mike D'Ambrosio, Mike D, the referee. I got the Whistle Talk podcast. I am an NJFOA football official here in the state of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Doing my thing. Still staying in the game, staying involved. Got a great episode coming up live tomorrow myself. So
Talk about it.
Whistle Talk. So got Chris Garner, SEC center judge, coming on with me live tomorrow, talking about some SEC football. So going with some of the big boys down south.
Nice. So, like I said, again, you got Jersey, you got Maryland. Okay, you got a lot of people from a lot of areas giving you different perspective. But what you're going to understand is they're all the same perspective that you're going to need. That's what's going to be the common thing. You're going to hear a lot of the guys speaking on exactly what you guys need. So, B, what we got on deck for the show tonight?
We gotta talk about Nico. We gotta talk about Lacey. We got a list of do's and don'ts for the parents.
Okay.
We got a few reels. I got a video that me and Mike D was talking about. It's baseball related, but it's
Sports.
it's it's youth baseball. It's youth baseball.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that thin line start to disappear about what you can do and what you can't do, and then
Okay.
it's going to flip back into the do's and don'ts for the parents. But and I got another one too, a blind reaction videos for y'all. A blind reaction video.
All right. He's got us set up. So let's kick it off, man. Let's get to it. First
All right.
thing, let's do this. Like you said, we're going to talk about, okay, what's the young man's first name? I know his last name is Lacey. Help me out, boys. Is it Kevin? Kevin Lacey?
Kyron, I do believe. Yeah.
Kyle Lacey. You know, a fortunate event. A young man took his life. And, you know, my condolences go out to his family, right? But I also want to make sure that we use everything as a lesson. And I want to encourage parents, friends, talk to your friends, talk to your kids. Like, you never know what people are going through. To take your own life is a major thing. And clearly he was going through something. And granted, some people might not tell us what they're going through, but Brandon will be one of the guys that can attest to this. He understands your movements. Like, Brandon will call me like, you all right? Like, what's going on? Nah, you're moving. I haven't talked to you in a while, or you ain't sent me a message. So just try to be in tune, you know. So be in tune with our young men and our young women and all everyone, you know, not even just the athletes, but everyone, okay? because you never know what somebody's going through. But again, as you can see from that video, talented, very, very talented athlete, regardless of
very talented.
Regardless of what, how can I put it, stuff that he might have had going on, right? It still was a young man that's not here no more. And that's something I never like to hear about or speak about. But again, I definitely would say, rest in paradise, young king. Going too soon, and my condolences to the family,
It's definitely the family, because I mean, like, we could sit there and we could judge the kid from the things that we seen or heard. We don't really know him per se, you know what I mean? But for his family, 11 days away from one of the happiest days of your life, you know what I mean? Like the NFL draft, and you possibly going in it, you know what I mean? And now I just, it's a touchy situation, and that's why, you know what I mean, I didn't want to spend too much on it, but I did want to, you know what I mean, show some respect, some level to the kid and his family.
Yeah, and then like I said, everything is a lesson. Everything is a lesson. And so in this lesson, it needs to be talked about where mental health is real.
It's
and
real.
People have to make sure that if you're close to somebody, be close to them now. Don't let people just go and drift off and you saying that's your friend, that's your brother, that's your whatever. Like, stay close to them. Because guess what? Whether people want to hear it or not, the truth always need to be said. And they have to just deal with it, right? And so being that you can be open to that, giving him the truth or giving me the truth, or whoever you're close to like that, it goes a long way. Trust me. It's like my mother used to say, I know you don't hear me, but you hear me. And she's right. I hear her.
7 years later, that one part of that sentence come back to you. You be like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute.
Oh yeah. So just like I said, man. Again, a lot of these young college athletes, man, they're going through a lot. They're going through, like, you talking about NIL money. Like I said, we're gonna talk about that in a few. We're talking about draft statuses, and then you're talking about young men who are like stars. Like they're the Odell Beckhams of their colleges. They're like, I don't know, whoever's the most popular guy, the LeBron James or whatever, like, there are these guys on the collegiate level. And that can be a lot to deal with if you haven't witnessed that, if you haven't really like lived your life and experienced that. So again, like I said, let's use it as a lesson that we need to make sure that we contacting people, talking to people, and being honest with people. That's just, again, like I said, that's my 2 cents. If anybody want to buy it, there it is.
Hey, you mind if I jump in on this really quick?
Of course, Mike.
So, I mean, this whole situation is just another reminder of that we are dealing with human beings here. This young man made a mistake a couple of months back and potentially took the life of some other person. But then the mental health issues that he was dealing with from that point to today, unfortunately, took its toll on that young man. And what people don't realize now, again, is this stuff happens all the time, unfortunately. But we put these people on pedestals because of the sports aspect. But we got to understand that they're human beings. Like, this kid is a phenomenal athlete, but he is a human being. He is somebody that unfortunately makes mistakes, just like the four of us on this show make mistakes in our lives. But we're not on that pedestal that people put us on. So it's not highlighted. And sometimes that unfortunately has the negative effect. He couldn't go through the due process that was due to him in this scenario that happened to him. And unfortunately, he made a decision late last night, and it's now highlighted the whole thing.
Right.
But yeah, you're right, man. Like, reach out to people. Let's all be healthy and make sure that we're all in the right mind frame, because we've all been in that dark place at some point or another. So let's help each other out.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. We got another guest, Coach Mark Ingram, North Central. What's going on, Coach
Hey,
Mark?
man. Good evening. Good evening. I'm great. I'm blessed. Just got home watching the All-Star games for the city of North.
Okay. Good things going on in North New Jersey. That's what's up. Shout out to man Raj J. Baraka going for governor. Let's see what you got, big dog.
Yeah.
Big, what you got cooking?
You ready? Daniel, you want to go? No? You good? We good? Go.
There's not too much more to add. It was a
All right. Just want to make sure.
Situation. There's a lot. I have mixed feelings because I'm a military guy, and the accident he was involved in killed a military member, a veteran, an older vet. So I can't look upon it from one way or another. The kid made a mistake. It wasn't worth his life. We've all made mistakes, like you just said, Mike. So definitely not worth his life. I think anybody that gets down, I like what you said, Don. That's just check on your people, like especially when they start going through hard times like that. Don't distance yourself from them because they made a mistake.
That's the best way to do it. You know, like you said, everybody's made mistakes and everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
And so to deny that is an issue. Again, we talking about young high school students who go from just being the man in his little town to now he's the man in a city, in a campus, in the whole state, you know. So, you know, these things, when what they call, I want to say great response, great action, great responsibility. Y'all can help me out with that.
Great power comes great responsibility. Yeah.
Okay, and if you're not used to that power, things can go left. So, you know, we just got to make sure that we stay diligent and on our top of our people. And like I said, tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. It's okay. It's okay. Whether people want to accept it or not, the truth has to be said, and you got to deal with it. That's the only way you grow. The only way you're going to grow is by telling people the truth. You tell them a lie, keep them building them up on pedestals, then, you know, you never know what happens after that. Normally, it's not good.
That part.
Well, what you got for me?
All right, the hottest topic so far in 2025. Where do we start?
Hey, I want to start.
Let's do it.
Dangerous.
First of all, we knew this was coming. We absolutely knew that this is where NIL was headed, right?
Yes, sir.
And I've hated NIL since the beginning, and I don't give a damn about the kids getting paid or not. Whether they should or shouldn't. I agree that NCAA is pulling a shit ton of money. The colleges are pulling a shit ton of money. The kids are the ones putting themselves at risk, but they don't have to accept that scholarship if they don't want to. They can go somewhere else. You know what I mean? They can go pay for school and not play. I'm not saying I don't like them getting paid, but it had gotten out of hand. I quit on NIL big time. I'm an OU fan. I chose not to give my hard-earned money that's going to my kids' college to NIL for my campus, my school, to pay for these kids to show up to be there for a year and then leave. Like that's not how I'm going to spend my money. And then I was called every name under the book. I was kind of drug on social media because I don't, well, the team's going to lose because you don't give. Then the team's going to by damn lose. Like you can't develop the talent that wants to play there for the money, whatever. Then if it's just an arms race of money, Oregon should win every national championship for the next forever anyway with the Nike founder up there, president, whatever.
With that unlimited
money. Expecting fans to buy season tickets, which I was for 5 years. We canceled them this year. To be season ticket holders and pay $5,000 for 3 seats or some crap a year, and then you still want me to give to some collective? Like, nah, we're out.
Yeah.
I'm not an NIL fan. Then you got to look at like production, contracts. This cat signed for $2 million. You know what I mean? To go be a quarterback as a freshman, as a never played a single down freshman. If you look at what Michael Jordan said, what did he say? He said it's bullshit that we're paying these kids on the possibility they could show up. Make them prove it, right? So I think we knew this was where it's going. I am so glad that Heupel decided to just let him walk, or whoever the community. Maybe Heupel was all in for paying him, and the rest weren't. I don't know, but I'm glad he did that. I think this is the first step in righting the ship. At least it will teach kids you better be realistic with your expectations of monies. You can't be what was he like, the 46th, the best quarterback in completion percentage or some crap. Like you can't be terrible and request to double your income. So
right.
Hey Daniel, I just pulled up here in a Sports Illustrated, an SI article. He signed with Tennessee in March of 2022 for a 3-year contract for $8 million.
Yeah.
What?
A 3-year contract that he immediately tried to get out of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if the contract don't,
crazy.
I understand coaches can leave too, but their contract has to be bought out by one school or another. It needs to be the same thing. It needs to all that needs to stay the same. And if we're gonna be a semi-pro league, then let's do that. And let's quit lying to our students that they're going there for an education. Let's quit tying it to school altogether. Like
make them pay for the education with the NIL money.
Yeah, no shit.
Damn.
Why do we even have scholarships? Like, get rid of
them.
Damn. I know there's kids out there that can't get an NIL. They're not good enough. And then they also, they need that for that income. So maybe once you earn the scholarship amount, 30,000, 40,000, 60,000, whatever your school's is, then maybe it goes in your pocket. I don't know.
Listen,
what needs to happen? Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to come from the referee point of view, where you're talking about one of the biggest things that we deal with in referees is the uniform, and it's all coming from college. Well, what does the NFL do with the uniforms? It finds the kid. Well, if you're going to start paying these kids $8 million, let's make sure that these sons of guns are wearing the proper uniform so that the youth kids are doing the right thing. You want to be looked up like that, pay the price, pay the piper then.
Okay. Mark, what you got? Mark, I heard you about to come in on it.
I mean, I just think you open up a whole can of worms once you start paying these kids. Because now you treat them like NFL superstars. Like some of these kids getting paid more than some of these first round, like some of these NFL players. So you want me to go to class, so you want me to be a student, go to class, but you giving me $2-3 million. And then I get to negotiate.
That's the part right there, right?
I don't even know. Like, are they? When is the last time we saw a kid be ineligible because of grades during the NIL period? Are they even allowed to fail, or are they getting their grades paid for too?
No comment.
Hey,
is that degree? Am I getting fraudulent degreed students when they get out of college? When I try to hire them as a professional, what am I getting? I don't even know what I'm getting anymore.
Yeah,
very good point.
And then if your team go deep into the playoffs, you never really in class or on campus.
This, like we said, what is, like you said, Dan, I agree with this NIL thing, the way how it was brought out. Wrong. Just wrong. Should kids get paid? I'm going to actually say yeah. To an extent. Right? Everything needs to have parameters. Right now, we're out here with no salary cap. Just dump the money on the kid, and then we're expecting the kid, the same kid that don't clean his room, because he's they 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, to know how to manage 2.5, 8 million. What are we doing? He's making more money than his parents at this point for some of these guys. And then this is where
time for 8 million, coach. That's more than I think my whole family has ever owned in their existence.
Okay. So now we're talking about, now it's not just the kid doing some talking. Now mom and dad's involved in this conversation too. We ain't gotta go to work no more.
Well, no, not only that. I mean, you got his favorite uncle. His favorite uncle is now in his ear. You know what I mean? Because he's been in his ear his whole goddamn life. He ain't got shit going on, but that's his favorite uncle. So of course you're going to respect him. Man, I've been trying to open up this body shop, man. Like it's always some bullshit.
Right. So
then you got that best friend I've been pushing him the whole way, who just riding around with him everywhere, taking him everywhere. Never played the sport.
So I feel like it should be, if we're gonna, it's like this. If we're gonna do this, give it a salary cap. Everyone has the same amount of money. Make the playing field even. Then you pay who you need to pay. But then, like you also said, if we're doing it like this, like I think maybe you just agreed on, this scholarship, that come out of that. Everything that you're trying to get, what you need, then that comes out of that money. Because I'm not like, before you had regular students upset at college athletes because they was getting to go to school for free just because they know how to play a sport.
That's a good idea.
Now they're going to school for free and they're getting paid. What am I chopped? Like the kids, like, what am I chopped live over here? Because at the end of the day,
are they really going to school or just playing a sport?
But check it out. You're using a regular student's GPA to sell this program. When you go and say, well, our school graduates X amount of kids at X amount of GPA. It don't just be the football player. You give us the school's record.
With the
So
number
now-
one university in the country.
So now you gotta, if we're paying, it's almost like they should get something too, right? Instead of the financial aid and Sally Mae. Like, we need to get something to these guys if their scores are gonna go with these guys. Like, it's out of hand. But let's get to the Nico thing. And I think what's about to happen is, like, I think, like you just said, we just might have witnessed our collision course on how much we're willing to deal with as far as paying these young guys. You're having a lot of college coaches stepping out. Like Heupel said something. I think coach out of Miami, Christoph, said something.
Yeah, Crystal Ball said the same thing.
Dion said he ain't taking him.
Right. It's one of those things where, you know what, we're not going to allow you to dictate to the programs what you're going to do here. Like, take your money, play the ball, and have a nice day. What you got?
Oh, wait. Cristobal's coming in saying something. He just paid Carson Beck $4 million to transfer from Georgia. Like, come on, like, don't be a hypocrite now.
Right.
I mean, you're going out and doing that and giving him the freaking cars and stuff like that it's getting stolen, and then you're going to come out and criticize this kid. Like, all right, I like that you're making a stance, but make a stance.
Stand on it. Yeah, stand on it. But you know what what this is like now. I paid Carson the $4, but let me make this clear for everybody else. No one's better not asking for no money. We're done. So like you said, you can't eat it too now, Chris. Like,
I actually think it's more so that I paid Carson the $4, but I don't want Nico to go somewhere that he's going to compete against me. So I'm going to put my stance down because I want Nico to fall through the wayside because he could come take some wins away from me now.
Because he can't.
We also got to look at, man. We just it's paying potential versus paying. How many rings has Carson Beck got on his hand?
He just said the magic word. That's
Carson
crazy.
Beck. He ain't win no rings.
Nope.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm just misremembering. I could have sworn he won one, not this year, obviously, but prior. But
right.
All right, you got me. You got that damn hat on.
He's at least
it's
gotten his team in the mix. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Versus what has Nico done? Did he even get to the playoffs?
All right, so I got two questions.
Don't have a question with
no.
Stevie Wonder just jumped on, baby. You can't miss out on this.
So
shout out to Coach Sheed in the building.
I want to get to what Daniel said first, and then jump back into what Chuck Thomas said, because that's two options, right? And then Daniel, what the fuck?
Watch your mouth.
So I didn't say it. God damn it. See? So I want to get into what. No. All right. So Daniel was saying, make them pay for college. If we make them pay for college with their NIL money, what does that look like?
I mean,
there's going to be a threshold because some kid who barely makes it is now giving all his NIL back to that. And so people are going to be like, well, why aren't we, it's just, here's the issue. Now you've got a school can offer you a scholarship and say, hey, we're allowing you to go here free. No money's really changing hands. The school just doesn't receive monies. If he has to pay for it out of his NIL, now a collective is paying for that kid to go to school. So now you have weird business decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you put a limit on it. You offer them, hey, you come in here because we gave you that. Okay. All right. So I do see that. So now Buck Flair was saying if you transfer, there needs to be a cap put on that. There needs to be a cap. If you transfer, then you don't get this, you don't get that because you was here at first and then you transferred, I guess, if I'm looking at it correctly.
Well, right now he has
like the NFL. Yeah, that kind of just sounds like the NFL. If you cut a guy, he's still going to have a cap hit on your team, but if he signs with somebody else, like where's the cap go type of thing, like he's going to be limited because he's already making X amount from team A. Why should he then collect from team B also?
Well, I think something else. We want salary cap here, but what's the difference in tuition to go to Temple versus Purdue? So now I'm going to charge a kid $15,000 a year versus $65,000. I don't know what either of those schools' tuition is, but you get my point here. But we have a salary cap, and the kid, a base NIL is $100,000, but now one kid's giving up all his in tuition, and the other one's banking. You know what I mean? Depending on what school he gets to sign for. So
depending on where he goes, right?
You put it in a weird situation.
I don't like I said. I think with this situation is first. I know he has one stipulation: he can't transfer in the SEC unless he sits.
because of
That's
spring
what
ball.
Only in the
Yeah, because it's spring. That's why he can't transfer within
within the conference, right?
Right.
So he can't transfer in the conference because now he's gonna have to sit, right? So that just now put a major damper. If he's trying to get money, right? In my opinion, it's put a major damper on the money he's gonna get. Because the only other conference outside of the SEC that contends for a national title is the Big Ten. So now you're trying to find out what you're gonna go to Penn State, you're gonna get Ohio State, but neither one of these schools are gonna be looking for a quarterback. I mean, spring ball just ended. Like the guys are kind of set with what they got. Now, like you said, if Nico doesn't even have the numbers, if Nico doesn't have the performance where, he's a knockout the park, like we talked about earlier, Mike, with Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard was a guy who hit numbers, and Notre Dame was a team, independent, and also needed a quarterback.
Yep.
Like, the other Big Ten schools don't need a quarterback, and we're talking about the higher echelons. If they don't need a quarterback, well, there's your $4 million blown. You ain't gonna get it from them. And the teams that are down, if we're gonna say like a Purdue or something like that, they're not gonna pay $4 million because they're not a quarterback away. Like you need a team that's a quarterback away to give you the $4. If you're not going a team that's a quarterback away where you was making your $8 million or whatever it is, now you're gonna sign to another school and you might sign for less. So whoever is advising,
he's
this
definitely going to take less now.
Yeah, so that's why this situation is like a bad situation. If you look
for him, yeah, and then he the first one to be out there like that.
So I don't know. This wasn't advised. I mean, I don't know who, but
sometimes you gotta run and find out.
What you say? What you said, B? The uncle that told you to go do this. I need that shot. You know what I'm saying? Mom and dad that was trying to capitalize off the money. Somebody just blew the bag. Somebody might have just really blew the bag. So and it's good, Mike.
You guys are talking about uncles. Well, what about Arch Manning? How much was his NIL deal to sit for 2 years?
Arch is at 6.5.
Boom.
It does. I mean, I think the biggest thing about Nico is the way that he did it. If you're going to go sit out the events you've already said you would be at when you got paid, I think I see his was ranked at $3.1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Over $900,000. You're just going to sit and not practice. And now we're supposed to do what? What if they don't let him go? What if they keep him? What if he ends up backing down? Like you got less practice. You're less prepared to go into the season to help us win a championship because you were being greedy. It's just a whole thing. Like sometimes the words aren't as offensive as the manner in which you say them. You know what I mean?
And I I want to jump on that right there. So now, like you talking about, think about what just happened in Tennessee. They got to have a really good receiver who was expecting a really good season coming up. Now his numbers are like, my question now is, are we losing sight of the brotherhood for the money? This is football, the ultimate team sport.
Of course you is.
I can't get paid unless you get paid. Is she like I'm gonna tell you, she and one of my guys that I train, Al-Rashid Benton, they play semi-pro together, right? And Al will tell you she was one of the better safeties he's ever had behind him. Why? Because she has to tell Al, hey, not there, roll there, and it has to work. But if Al mess around and goes, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna do my own thing. Well, now you putting Sheed in a bad position.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's that type of sport. And so I'm telling you, like this Nico, good job, kid. You did it. You made headlines because you're going to change the shift on what we're going to start talking about as far as football, what coaches are going to accept, what they're not going to accept.
Make it on the podcast?
Yeah.
High school football players, tune in. This is going to affect a lot of the things on when you're recruiting. Because they might ask, because again, college coaches recruit parents. So it's going to be saying, wait a minute, who's in the room? You know what? Could I get the W-2s around here? Because I don't want to mess around and put too much money on the table and then somebody lose their mind around here. Like it's going to be that type of situation. Like I said, everything has a trickle-down effect. So we're going to lose sight of the brotherhood. The guy probably had a really good left tackle. He's gonna miss out on some money now. The receiver's gonna miss out on some money right now. Like all of this because you wanted to get a couple extra dollars. Like, can we talk about this? Like, if I'm the receiver, like, yo, dog, could we had a powwow before you did this? Because I could have jumped in the portal too, but I came back for an extra year thinking that you was gonna be the man. This is an interesting setup right here, man. It's a nasty setup. It's an interesting one.
Nasty. And then a wording of what Tennessee put it out there. Mispractice. Missed the meeting.
Yeah. Well, you know, well, guess you know this how it works in all I know. This is how it works in all types of aspects of work. I mean, we're all like around the high schools, right? I've had kids, you know, they transfer, they go to another school. Parents, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. You want to know what happens? So I got Coach Mark here. He's at North Central, right? I'm Don Mass. I'm at West Orange. I got a kid that wants to go to Central. He leaves and go to Central. Guess what happens? Coach Mark, give me a call. Hey, D, got this kid here just pulled up, man. He played at West Orange. What kind of kid is this? I don't know, but I got to get to know. I got to figure it out. And I know if I ask the kid, the parent, the uncle, the whoever, they're going to tell me the best thing since sliced bread. So I got to like get some insight on this. And what I say might change how he treats you. So, you know, these, like you said, how Tennessee's putting it out there. Everybody, my father always say, you got to watch what you do at work. Because once you do something wrong, they're going to go through a day in the life of what you do. The investigation start figuring out, oh, you know what? You don't come to work on time. Or you do take long breaks. They'll do a day in the life because everybody does something, right? So he was doing something. Everybody's doing something. And now because you done opened up the can of worms, surprise, but we might talk about how he don't do his classwork. We might talk about how he don't make the practices or how he oversleeps and stuff like that. Now, again, here we go again. When you trying to make your extra money, down, 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 down goes the money. Sure, what about draft status? The NFL is the biggest ones. When it's time to draft you, they pull up your resume. Oh, yeah, see, this is the situation that happened in his sophomore year. He did this, he had a charge here and this there. Now, he can't be a first round. He can't be a third round. Let's make him a seventh round. You know, we'll pick him up in a free agency. We don't have to deal with that. This is how this works. And so making this type of decision, I just hope I hope he understands what it is. I can't say I hope it plays out for him because college football needs to set some standards on this NIL thing.
I think.
But now, what's your point? What's your point on the NIL as opposed to the transfer portal stuff too? Because I think they go hand in hand with what's going on. The fact that he can go to Dylan Gabriel can play at 3 or 4 different colleges in 7 years. I mean, I know the COVID years and stuff were mixed in there, but I think the transfer portal also has the same thing that this kid could sit there and say, you want to know something? You're not going to give me the $8 million. I'll go over here and I don't have to sit out unless I'm in conference. Now he's a Southern Cal kid. He may go out to UCLA or USC right now. They're talking about those schools. And you know, Marco Cristobal, we were just talking about him. I just read North Carolina is one of the top people to possibly look at him. So that's why Marco's coming out saying he doesn't want that. But when you got the free transfer portal, basically you're allowing kids to do whatever they want and then ask for the money.
Mike, they got to go back to the old school where if you want to transfer and play right away, you go D1 AA, you got to go down. Now ain't no play, but if you telling me, like you just said, I'm at USC, you know what, but I'm going to just go to UCLA and still get it that way, no control. Got to get a control on this thing somehow, some way. Or maybe they don't. You know, it's their NCAA. It ain't mine, so, you know.
Listen, this whole conversation is going full circle because I'm going to bring this back to the young man down at LSU. These are young individuals. These are young human beings that are going to make mistakes that we are talking about. You're handing them $8 million at 18 years old, putting them in sports cars. They're going to make mistakes. And unfortunately, we just witnessed one of the outcomes because of that. A military veteran is dead and a young individual, a young man is dead because of we're allowing this situation to happen. And I'm saying we as a culture, but we're not the NCAA because it's them that's doing it. But it's
but I
allowed.
understand exactly what you're saying.
Totally allowing this situation to happen.
Yeah.
So, question: we always say so in the NFL, players get cut, moved around. NBA, Luka get traded. Hey man, this is a business. You got to understand things happen in business. So is the kid looking at this as this is a business? I'm trying to do what's best for me, or is he just misguided all the way around the board?
I mean, it's misguided. Yeah, I mean, like it's a business, but like to compare it to the pros, some of these pros they have leverage. Listen, and some pros who tried this and it didn't work.
So Dennis, you can think of podcast, my guy for Sand Sport. He's a Tennessee fan. When I called him and asked him, yo, what is going on? He was like, man, and he got quiet. But he said Tennessee ain't have a quarterback in a while. So maybe he think that he has leverage.
You can't have, you can think that you have leverage. I mean, I think I have hair. You okay? Like it don't work. Okay, like it's one of those things where, and again, these are amateurs. You know what I mean? Like I think the only kid a lot of people could agree on that's not an amateur is Jeremiah Smith. He's actually a man at Ohio State, right? So he got leverage. Jeremiah Smith could probably walk into anybody's field like, I need more. That's leverage. Nico, we're still waiting to see, can he take over the game? And then the other thing that Nico has to understand, am I thinking of what this is a quarterback. One of the hardest positions to kind of get recruited at, one of the hardest positions to keep to stay. Like, unless you're willing to make because he's 2 years in, right? So you only got one more before we go to the NFL. Like, what do we like? We really worried about $2 million, and I'm about to go to the NFL another year,
sir.
Well, I mean, that's where the business decision comes in, because if somebody all of a sudden tackles him low and blows out his knee, that's a business decision he just made.
Well, I mean, you just had $2 million, sir. So you should have had some kind of financial advisor. You should have a house that you should be good, at least.
My uncle told me we good. You seen Friday Night Lights? I was gonna get you a house. I was gonna make you rich. Remember that? Remember Grandpa had that crying scene in the car? Like, listen, man, this is the game. You know what?
How many pro athletes are you seeing that are dealing with bankruptcy and stuff like that because they're blowing the money because they don't have that financial advisor? Yeah, I mean, and or their financial advisor was corrupt themselves, and they just still look up.
Boom! Again, we're talking about a young man. Like, let's make sure we keep it in perspective. The same young man that might have been working a summer job for $15 an hour, like when he was in high school, is now making. We won't even get on Nico. Let's just give him a nice little number of $100,000. Let's make it really small for it right now. He's making $100,000. I will take it too. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Now imagine, because most of these guys, I'm not gonna say most of them, but a lot of guys are hard luck stories. 5 kids. Probably one grandma, stuff like that. Ain't nobody used to having that type of money. What financial advisor? We haven't been able to financially advise the $40,000 that mommy made. We want to try to do something with the $1 million. And then it's getting scary because agents are starting to dwindle into college football now. Because you got to think, it's more college football athletes than NFL athletes.
So you muted yourself, I think.
I didn't mute. Call trying to come in. So now you got to think that agents getting involved right now, right? So now all of a sudden you have a man you have never met, you don't know. He's coming knocking on your doorstep saying, "I can help you with that NIL deal." How?
Who was the kid in Florida a couple years ago that they took what did I take 40% of his NFL earnings for life or some crap?
Yeah, I read that story. That was
part of his NIL contract. I'm gonna make you money in college, but when you get to the pros,
because you didn't read,
you're gonna
the
give me all
print.
my money, like all that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a lot. 40.
Mark, they don't know how to read the fine print. Man, we living in a trailer. I ain't got no fine print.
No, it ain't about reading. You said 40 million. 40 million. I ain't have 40,000. I ain't have $40. I ain't even have 40,000. What?
So, but that's the situation. That's a scary thing. My advice, and I actually said this on a visit. He was broke for 18 years. 4 more years ain't gonna hurt nobody. Okay, we'll do what we gotta do. We'll take what we can get. Thank you for the education for free. Thank you for whatever little bit of money you give us for free, right? And he still got to go out there and do what he got to do. And then hopefully 3 to 4 years when he graduates here with a degree, if he has an opportunity in the NFL, house money, great job. Pat yourself on the back. If he doesn't, at least we have a solid degree with a solid background, and he can start his life a lot better.
College football now, man. Have you seen these spring game attendance?
Hey,
shout out Prime Time. Prime made it a big thing now. Prime about to make it NFL. We're gonna get team scrimmages in a minute. I do like
better than the crap that we just watched over the weekend. What? Oh, you had a combine.
Because guess what? Then a lot of the schools now they don't even want to have spring games. They just want to have like a spring workout, and everybody just come out and see the kids.
Yeah, because they scared that half of their roster might transfer right after the spring game.
Because they didn't get enough reps. Because now there's a depth chart.
And there's recruiting going on.
Was Nick Saban right? Nick Saban said, "I'm out of here."
He was right to get the out.
He seen the writing on the wall.
Nick said,
And people called him a coward.
Because they didn't see this coming.
No, we saw this coming. Come on.
Oh, we saw this coming.
We know what the hell this is going
on. Nick said,
and I know we're taking tangents, but how did Bill Belichick get involved in this?
Hey.
His name carries weight.
Have you seen his girlfriend, though? Let's go.
Sir.
He got involved because she's making more NIL.
But you know what's going to be interesting? I bet you see more NFL coaches actually being recruited to coach in a Division I level because they can handle people getting paid.
That's a good point. He understands the business part of it.
Understand the money part. So I mean, and maybe now you might see these guys getting bigger bags too, because you might imagine having Mike Tomlin saying, "Look, I can go over there and fix that, but I need a little more than what I was getting with the Steelers." You know, like that's the only thing you're going to have. Because again, like I brought up Nick Saban.
They got it.
Like I brought up Nick Saban. Remember, Nick went to the NFL for a while, right? He said, "Man, I'm done. I'm not doing this. Get me back there with them kids that just want to get to this level and want to play their hearts out, and I'll figure it out from there."
When do we get to
if Mike Tomlin and Kenny Pickett just swap spots and Mike Tomlin goes to University of Pitt and gets paid more than Pittsburgh? Just walk next door.
When do we get JV league for college when these people got too many people on roster?
Well, that's why they opened up JUCO ranks, right?
Yeah.
Is that JV? You're still aging out, and they can't pull you up to their roster.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand they get their 2 years for free, and I think that's awesome. It's just going to be full of all the D1 kickbacks anyway now, so it don't matter.
Mm-hmm. What it used to be.
They're going to get NIL.
Division III had it.
Mm-hmm.
When do we get a JV college so that at least I can go watch kids who give a shit about football?
Because right now, like, even in some of these recruiting meetings, you got kids asking about NIL money. That's the first question some of these kids ask about.
I got it
programmed.
I got to
bring
just
said
on this.
How they're talking. Their parents are getting in on it.
I got to
bring how much money they're going to give your mama. They better get me. The kid that went to Tech last year, 4 receptions, I think he had. And they gave him like, I don't know, he's asking for $2.5 million, and his parents to have a house paid for, and each member of his family to have a car bought and paid for at least. Like,
he need a car from spring practice back to the dorm room. He need a room for his entourage, like all types of. He had 4 catches for the season.
4 catches.
So did I. I was an offensive tackle.
Hey, she, real quick. Remember,
Yeah.
we talked about this on the high school level, right? With and I want to educate parents. I want to educate kids with knowing what to ask for, right? And she and me had a conversation about this, and parents got to start treading lightly, Mark. You know, when they go, well, how much my NIL going to be? Because it's going to be very cutthroat. It's going to be one of those things where she, like you were telling me, they're going to put up the pad and the paper. We'll say, okay, so you said you want the NIL. That's it? You sure? Okay. And they're going to slide you an NIL bag, but you're going to get nothing else. It's like, well, what happened to the playing time? You ain't asking about no playing time. You asked about NIL. You ain't asking about giving you good classes. You asked about NIL. You ain't asking about cars. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to get to the point where they're going to put their ears out, hear exactly what you're saying, find a way to get you what you asked for, and unless you produce, you ain't going to get what you want. It's going to be one of those things.
Yeah, they gotta ask the right questions. And what you make important as a parent or a kid is what the coach is gonna make important.
That's
So,
it.
so when it comes down to it, and they get the little bump in the road, and you asking about this other thing, no. You wasn't worried about that other thing before.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about money. Here's your money. Now shut up and get out of my face.
What they say, shut up and play ball. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, it's going to get bad. It's going
I
to
think
get
they.
bad.
I think the NCAA has to start bringing back the eligibility thing when it comes to and somehow tied into the NIL thing, because
Mm-hmm.
once back in the day, once your clock started, it started. No matter
Right.
where you went, your clock is ticking, and you only got. But they keep adding these COVID years and this all these other extra years. So
10
now,
medical red shirts.
yeah, like it's too much. So I think once they start tying in the eligibility as far as your clock,
Mm-hmm.
then I think it'll kind of help with this NIL stuff. Because
Yeah.
these kids that's in the portal right now, or they want 2 extra million, they clock should be running.
Mm-hmm. Put the pressure on
Yeah, your clock is
them.
running. So the more you want to sit at home, your clock is running.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time you figure out what you want to do, it's
Huh.
already over. You only
Yeah.
got 1 year left. Why would I pay you an extra two million when you only got 1 year left anyway? So I think they have to start bringing back the clock back to where
Yeah.
you'll lose your clock.
Well, that's what I was saying, man. I really feel like we gotta go. I know they thought that it was a bad thing, but the old school way worked at this thing. Well, like I said, what you just said, we're bringing the clock back. What if you transfer? You got to transfer down if you wanted to play. Like you got to bring these things back. You know, I do like you said, Dan. Okay, we cut the roster down, and so you guys in the portal, you could go over to the JUCO ranks. You know, but hey, let the clock still be going. So this way you can see who a hungry dog, who not a hungry dog.
Yep.
You know, that's what you're missing out on. Right now, you can't tell who is that guy. He's at 4 catches with all those demands. Like, nah, he's not a hungry dog. Get him out of here.
Yeah. Make if you sit in the clock, if you sit in the portal, your clock is still running.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
Mm-hmm.
change. It'll change kids going to the portal too quick. That's what happened
Mm-hmm.
with JUCO. Kids were going to JUCO back in the day, and we go bounce back and then come back out. But once that portal stuff happened and your clock stopped running, it killed JUCO. So now they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to double back and say, all right, go to JUCO. Your clock has stopped running. None of your eligibility will be affected. But once you bring that clock back, if you sitting in the portal, your clock is running.
Mm-hmm.
That'll guys like this to be like, all right, I want to sit in the portal and get it and try to find an extra 2 mil. You're bugging because now your clock is running now.
And
So
the game
I
change.
think if they bring the clock back, it'll kind of you got to really think about what you're doing. Like, all right, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really want to sit 2 years? And by the time I'm ready, it's going to be another quarterback that's just as good, and they're going to give
Oh,
him that bag. You know what I mean? So
easy.
I think the clock will change some of this.
Easy. B, what you got cooking, man? What else we got on deck? This is good. I like how we jumped on that Nico.
All right. So I wanted to do the blind reaction, right? All right.
Mhm.
So I need y'all to explain this to a non-football parent. Okay. I'm gonna mute it so it's not music in it.
How do you explain this to a non-football parent?
You talking about
They
coming
are
out
from
in
Oklahoma.
numerical order? Oh, no, they ain't now. What the hell?
I'm waiting for the catch, B. All I see is kids running out on the field now.
As a referee, I don't see knee pads.
That's
All
college.
right,
Coach. They
so
don't exist in college.
look at the size of these kids. All
I
these are
think the
freaking
size.
linemen. All they look all linemen.
Even number 7.
You want to know what I call this?
What are they running?
This is the second wave of pregame. The specialists were already out there doing kicks and everything like that and doing specials. These are all the guys that the grunts and the guys that can't catch a cold.
Yeah, that's what I see. Yeah.
You got a bunch of fullbacks and linebackers coming out there with the O-line.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's all. That's what I
Nah,
was.
but even look at the people that's shaking hands that's already on the field. That whole team thick. They like a power I team to me.
I mean, the only thing that if you wanted me to explain to a non-football parent, don't spend the offseason BSing around. These guys clearly have been in the lab and getting it done, and they're probably going to wreck something in like another 20 minutes. Okay, that's one
Find
thing
something
I would
to
tell
pick
you.
up and put back down.
You know, that's what I would say about that one, man. The dudes is built.
I think when his parents trying to break into football, you better show that DNA matters. You know what I mean? Hey,
you got to show up,
Joe
mama.
ain't getting on the field because this ain't what he looks like. Okay,
sir.
You failed him when you were fire.
That's it. That's it. So look, you want to know what they're recruiting? That's what they're recruiting. Size.
What he said? Got to be more careful.
This is going to sound bad, but I see people walking around the hallways in high school, and I'm like, man, you guys got to get together because that's breeding. And you all know what I'm talking about. I'm probably getting myself in a whole lot of trouble right now, but
no, man, listen, I've heard a college coach, very good one too, talk to all the parents at a camp. They said, if your kid, look, I'm telling you right now, if your kid don't get a scholarship, do not blame me. If your father was tall and he picked your mother and she's short, you blame them. If your mother was tall and your father was short, he said you blame them. You don't blame me. I'm not the reason why you're small. So you got to blame them on why you ain't getting a Penn State scholarship offer. Okay? Shout out to Coach James Franklin. That was the best, truest, illest statement he could have ever made.
Oh, it's so true.
Like, yeah, listen, man, and people gotta stop going to doctors, man. I'm hearing all these people going to the doctor saying the doctor projected him to be 6'4". The doctor's projected him to be 6'5". We gotta stop. We gotta stop with the hocus pocus, man. Like, listen, just put him to sleep for 8 hours and see what happens, man. That's all I can tell you. There's no rhyme or reason for how this thing works. Okay.
Hey, DM, how many kids have you heard of that broke their growth plate?
Oh, don't you touch no weights. You're not gonna grow. Don't you do it. It's not gonna happen. You're like, remember, Dan, we talked about that the other day when it was like, yo, kids ain't gonna want to touch the weights no more because it's gonna do this and do that. And listen, you're gonna be what you're made to be. All right. Make the best of it. Turn it up. Like, it really comes with understanding that if you are 5'10", look for schools that like 5'10" kids. If you're 6'4", you probably won't have to look for much. They're going to be looking for you. Like, these are just common. And the sad thing about it is it's all right here on this little handheld device. It's Google. I mean, just type it in. It's right there. Am I a scholarship kid? What you think? I don't know. Have you been on rivals.com and seeing what the tops are? All right, well, go to those kids' names, check the heights and weights. If they got a huddle link to it, check it out. And don't lie to yourself and say, I could be that kid. You don't play.
Hey, DM, you can blame Charles Barkley for that because he was a 6'3" guy listed at 6'8" that rebounded the hell out of the ball.
Dog. There's a dog.
Oh, God, yeah.
So you got to understand, if you're going to be playing with only dogs allowed, You better be a dog. But most people that ask just these questions, they ain't no dog. They puppies. You know, they little guys, and they trying to expect that. Well, I mean, I am a dog because I know I make plays. You just play football. It happens. There's a play that's going to be made every now and then.
Yeah, but 99% of the population are puppies.
Right. It's okay.
That's what they don't understand.
Average height is okay. I mean, and then if it don't work there, I think you still can get a job. I think it works. Like,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
Yeah.
Your mama got a job, your daddy got a job. It's okay. You know, you'll be okay in life. Like, you've had parents. I don't think they're superstars, right? But they provided for you quite well. It's all right.
Yeah, things work out.
I don't understand why some people make it where it's not all right. I think it's all right. I'm happy I got my mother and father. It's all right, you know. But it's just amazing how they put these, you know, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. I know you get that scholarship. I know. Yeah, but even when you get that scholarship and you go to some of those full thoroughbred kennels, man, you ain't got what it takes. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, just getting there ain't the way. So that's why I try to tell some kids, program yourselves now. Program yourself to probably like be by yourself, training by yourself, working by yourself. Like, program yourself now. Doing the extra. Don't just do the team lift. Do an extra lift somewhere. Don't just do the team film study. Do an extra film study. Don't just do regular work. Ask for more work or ask for help on the work you just did to just further, like, you know, build your knowledge up. You have to do the extra if you want to be extra. That's extraordinary. Or you could just be ordinary. Either way, you'll be okay.
Hey, DM, I got to throw this one to you really quick. I'm sorry.
Shoot it.
You were asking about my son. My son's 13. He plays multiple sports, 7-on-7 world, but he also plays baseball. And baseball's a world of failure. You are a 300 hitter, which means that you suck 7 out of 10 times. You screwed up. 7 out of 10 times you screwed up. At 300 hitter, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Like, I'm trying to instill that, like, do you like be good at what you do and take your chances, take your shots. Like, it's a mentality that they got to understand and be who you are. Like,
right.
That's it. Like, go for it.
That's it, right there.
I'm sorry.
I love it. Love it. Because some people think they go 10 for 10 and they like, you know, I don't know why they do that, but whatever.
But then they go 0 for 20 and they're still betting 300. You got both.
I love it. And I love the fact that he's in multiple sports. People got to understand that. Put your hat in more than one race. You never know. Moms, dads, don't be out here with that. He's just this. It might not work. You might want to let him do some other stuff. We talked about it before on one of our other segments where, if anything, find a complementary sport. Oh, he's a running back. Running track might actually help running backs. Just saying, you know, don't just put him out there where he just
play soccer.
Try something out. I mean, don't just stick around. And I'm gonna say this next part, especially for the kids that are not playing as much. Like, if you are not playing as much, don't just stick to, you know, I'm gonna just stay here on the sideline and play football. I'm gonna wait till she graduates. Soon as she graduates with my show. You don't want to try nothing else, like anything else is okay. But, you know, but understand what you're gonna try. Don't be the 5. Like, how can I put it? I love it. Like, when I do this here, don't be the 5 running back. And you say, well, you know what? This ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna try to play basketball. You are still 5'5" in the wrong sport. Try wrestling. 5'5" as a wrestler, as long as you can move and groove, you get into it. You can mix it up. You know, like, just put yourself in a world where you can try to obtain some type of, like, again, everything ain't gonna be a college scholarship, but at least you would get some aid, some schools will find money for you if you have a decent talent, and they don't have to be Division I schools. We're Division II schools if you have a decent talent and a decent work ethic. So, and great grades. I don't know if I could say that loud enough. It doesn't work without the great grades. All right, like come on,
Push it up.
whew. What you got, B? Because I'm telling you, I'm gonna kill them if they ain't listening.
All right, so y'all gotta listen to this. It's only like 10 seconds long.
This is bad. This is bad.
Oh my God! Are you fucking kidding me? You piece of shit! Hey, that's a kid.
Hey, it's Dad. It's not okay.
That's my son. That's my fucking son.
Mute.
Sir.
Christ.
Sir.
Yo, who's
Like,
listening to this? Is this like family show here?
It was.
We started with an MF.
no, we didn't, sir. That
just you
was
did,
yesterday.
I have dropped one before.
All right, so I seen somebody in the comments saying don't block the home plate. I seen people saying that's still a kid. You shouldn't talk to a kid like that. When your emotions get the best, especially when it's your kid, they got his ass ran over like that. Like it's hard to tell them you can't say certain things, but as a parent, we held to a higher standard.
Brandon, can I jump in as an official, and I know a lot of umpires, and as a parent who deals with baseball and football, you still don't call a kid a piece of shit,
sir.
Plain and simple. I'm sorry, a piece of S. Bleep me out if you can.
Maybe he's talking to the coach because that's who I'd be talking with my fisticuffs.
Well, yeah, I would be probably. Listen, no offense, I'd probably be in the other dugout, but. Because you got to be telling that kid to get down, but
absolutely, the kid should have slid.
Yeah, absolutely. But the kids are kids, and sometimes, listen, my son runs into second base on a stolen base, and he's standing straight up and he gets tagged down. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I thought I had that beat. No, you slide, and at home plate, you slide. Like this is youth baseball. The umpire, as soon as that happens, punches that kid out. Throws that kid out, like he's just like, what am I doing here? He's got his hands to the side. He's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
like, you got to take control of that situation.
This is the info.
This kid, look at him when he turns around. He's talking shit to the adult, right? So who gives a shit if he's a kid? That's a mentality thing. He went in there knowing what he was doing, and he's talking shit to the parent right back as soon as he gets done doing it. He knew what he was doing. That's not an accident. That is him being a terrible player. That is terrible sportsmanship. He's being a terrible human.
Oh, he's pointing a game changer right there. He's like, yeah, I did that.
DM just told these kids to go play other sports. That's a football kid.
No. Brandon, my son's a football kid. My son's a basketball kid. My son plays baseball. He's in 7th grade. He's playing on the 8th grade baseball team. Like he's playing sports. Like I will not let my son not play sports. And my son knows, okay, if he didn't slide there, I'm going to ream his ass out. Like, what the hell are you doing? Because that's just a bad baseball play. But B, what are you doing? Because that kid could also play football, and he's going to take your ass out. He's going to remember you. He's going to have a receipt. And you're 13 years old, dude. You don't want receipts right now.
Right.
I'm sure that kid had a mustache too. He had testosterone right there.
Well,
he'd been shaving for a year.
It's bad.
Daniel, I don't know what part of New Jersey he was from, so
it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Like the dad, you can't. Hard to fault the dad when you see your son like that on the ground. Like that's
on the ground,
hard.
yeah.
That's hard to fault that, you know. But it's one of those things where I'm with you, Mike. I would have been on my kid because, kid, you could have hurt yourself. the way you ran into him. You could have hurt yourself. It could have been 2 people down on the ground. Like, so I'm kind of with Mike. I'm probably telling the dad, hey, Pop, don't worry about it. I'm on him right now. And I'm grabbing him up and we're done. And I'm, like, one of them type of situations because, like, dude, you don't understand how seriously hurt he is. You know how seriously hurt you could have been. And now I'm listening to hear what his coach is going to say. Because it should be me and his coach grabbing the kid and telling the dad, ho. Now, I understand mommy, mommies are mommies. So you can't, she yelled back because that's how mommies are. I got that part. But it's just one of them other things where as fans, it's just the world we're in. I mean, shoot, Little League football, Little League baseball, the parents, man, boy, you want to riot at? Go to them games. You hear it all. You hear it all, bro. So, but it's just one of those things where, like I said, if it was me, I'm on the field. I'm apologize to that dad, right? I'm on my sons. I'm killing them. Like he's in so much trouble. It don't even make sense, man. Like, and if the coach has 2 options, he either stands with me in support, or I run him out of town too. Because the rest of the kids are probably learning this. I don't know where's this learned. Like Mike said, I'm telling them slide. Why you ain't slide? So he ain't get it from Mike. So where's he getting it from? Like, you got it from you, coach? I need to know because that's because you can't be around. This is town ball. Even if it's not town ball and AAU ball, these are our kids, man. These are kids. You can't put that type of stipulation on it. And I'm going to take it to football real quick because I see it happening. And you football, Mike, I don't know if you see it, but you got the coaches and they be, in their little parade and, oozing with machismo, bounding their chest. And, it's this thing I heard. I don't know if anybody heard the little chant. The kids be, I got 2 hands, 2 claps, knock shit loose. I don't want my son saying that.
Yeah,
that's I don't say it in my house. Don't let him say it. But it starts with coach. Coach is the one that got him going. Coach is the one that's firing it up. So it's like, no, bro. Like I said, I'm on my side and I'm on that coach. He got 2 decisions. He better stand with me. Because if not, I'm signing this petition. No one's paying to come back. And you're out of this town. Figure it out. And I don't care how good of a coach you are. I don't care if he's some type of world-class Cy Young winner back in the day. And he's back here I don't give a damn. I got a young man I'm trying to teach how to be a man. And this ain't teaching it. Because that's the number 1 priority. He got to learn how to be a man. And that like you said, the receipts, man, listen. It's on social media. Y'all got to see this. The kids got to understand. These things don't go away. We could type this thing up 5 years from now, and this same video going to come up. And we're talking about mental health. We're talking about kids that can't handle certain things. So now what does this kid do when he's the laughing stock in his school? And his parent can't handle it. And her kid's the laughing stock of the workplace and all this other stuff. We got domino effect, fellas. We got to understand how this works.
Hey, listen, I'm all for policing yourself between the lines when it comes to football. When it comes to baseball, if my son happened to be the pitcher next time that they met 5 years from now and he planted one between his shoulder blades,
got him.
I'd be like, okay. But I'm old school. I listen, I like the Roger Clemens, Mike Piazza stuff. I was like, hey, listen, that stuff happens in baseball.
That was good
and
stuff.
If you go back to the 60s, 70s and beyond that, like that was baseball. But I was also like, I was the guy on the bottom of the pile. I was an offensive, defensive lineman that if I was on the bottom of the pile and your eyes were within my fingers, you got them poked out. Like stuff happened. Dan, I'm being honest with you because
in between the lines,
in the trenches.
In between the lines, as long as that referee don't see me, all is fair in love and war.
Okay. Absolutely. And when it happened to me, I'm like, okay, you got me. But I understood that.
I don't know if anybody's been on the other side of a crackback, but once I get up, shake them stars off. I'm looking. Who was it? 42? No problem.
Absolutely.
Soon as I shake these stars off, I am coming back for 42. I gotta
It
get
might not. It might come out the right way, but I'd be like, "Who done did that to me? What happened?"
That's why you need some
Mike-
context with that video, because that could have been exactly what you are talking about.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct, she.
That kid could have been doing exactly what we're talking about right now. But you know, all my direction is going to be towards the coach, because we've all been there where it's like, yo, man, see that quarterback over there? I need him out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the kid, he just may be an a-hole. He just may be.
Maybe.
Right.
I don't know,
Like you said, she.
I don't
Like
know
you
what
said.
age group that is, where his coach may have said, if you got a shot at home plate, you go through home plate and get, you know what I mean? So all of the attention for me goes to that coach. So if I'm the father from that kid that just hit the ground, yo, coach, man, what you teaching your kids?
Yes.
I'm not going to direct to the kid and call the kid a piece of shit. That ain't right. He a kid.
You're
he
right.
might be doing exactly what he was told to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, yo, coach, man, what are you teaching your kids? We gotta have a conversation.
You gotta have a talk. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so and then the mom in the video, she's only protecting her kid from what the father said to her kid.
Yeah, it's the mom.
I don't blame either parent. Look, if
No, so that coach got to have an answer.
If you run my kid over like that, I'm probably gonna have a little bit of a verbal vomit as well. I'm not mad at the mom for defending her kid.
Mm-hmm.
But Daniel, who to? Who are you having that vomit towards?
I'm having it towards.
I mean, it's probably coming out immediately. What the fuck?
Well, yeah.
What just happened? What are we doing?
Yeah, see, but that's generic.
Yo, Brandon, you got to get that buzzer button going.
That's generic. Like that's generic. He specifically went at the kid.
I mean, it probably did, but he didn't take time and like go over and grab the kid and call it. I mean, it just came out. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not. Yeah, I see
he called that kid a piece of S. I got you, Bree.
He did, but there was not like.
Yeah,
it ain't like he took time and thought about it. It came out, right? And then he defended himself because we're humans and we defend our own actions, even if they're really terrible.
Yeah. No, listen, there's plenty of time. Listen, my son got cheap shotted, and I'm like, what the F? B, I'm on you tonight. I'm 2 bourbons in. I got you.
you know what's crazy is I've seen that in real life. With somebody I know, somebody that I know, they did that at this might have been 11U, 10U, something like that, 10, 11 years old, and the corner came down, but you see that corner did not want to make a tackle. He made it look real good, but he did not want to make a tackle. So the person next to me was like, "Oh man, you bitch! You could have made that tackle." Ooh. So I did like this. We go ahead and get the fuck out of the way, because when they start shooting over this way, I ain't trying to be part of none of that.
Hey,
kid.
Nah, he done dropped.
Time out. Go ahead, Mike.
Bitch and F on the same sentence. We all have freedom now.
Wait a minute.
Thank you, Daniel. It's all out, baby. Let's go. Confetti has been popped. Let's roll. It's 10:30 on a Sunday night. Is there any kids?
My bad, DM. I know you're trying to clean the show up, DM. I messed it up. My bad.
I have a pretty good friend who's a former NFL corner, and he told me straight up, they didn't pay me to make no tackles. They paid me to make sure that the X don't run vertical and score a touchdown. Stop making me tackle. So
stop making me tackle.
This is like a 7-year NFL guy, professional basketball player, did all the things. He said, "Nah,
I got a job to do. I'm going to do it.
That's
right.
right.
Find a way to get it done."
That's right.
But
what you got, B? And I don't want curse words. What you got?
What the? Sir, you always trying to put me on the spot. You're like, this is crazy. You're like, this is wild.
You're the engineer. You got to give us the next topic.
Problems don't recruit them. I don't recruit entitlement kids. There's no way that I recruit a kid unless I know that he'll buy in to the way we do things here.
I love that because I actually got a preview of how one of his practices are ran, and it's dogs. They rolling the ball out, man. Them guys almost tackle each other on the court to get like reps and stuff, man. Coach Sampson's doing a heck of a job with that program.
I want y'all to know that he's supposed to be at OU.
Oh,
He
yeah.
texted some recruit in a non-contact period, and the school let him go because it mattered back then. Now we can pay him $6 million to shoot a basketball. Back then, you couldn't text him in the no-contact period. Now he's at Houston, going to the national championship.
Going to the championship.
Don't laugh at his pain, DM. He's in pain. You see him. You see he's in pain, DM. You gonna just laugh at him? That's crazy, man.
No, we just stayed. I just went there and tell him I was mad, man. I like it. No, it's crazy, man. But that entitlement, I kind of wanted to live in there for a minute because I see that's happening in our youth sports. I see it happening in our high school sports, of all sports too, not just the football world that I live in. I'm just seeing it happen all over the place, where the sense of entitlement, we kind of hint on it a few of our conversations already, that, we got to somehow try to, I don't want to say rid it. I don't know. Like, it's just, you got to get it away from. I don't know where does it come from. Why do people feel like they're entitled? I'm going to need coaches of all sports to not make kids feel entitled, because I've seen that happen on the high school side, which is, it does nothing but give you a cancer. Like, I have not been on a team, coached a team, and you've allowed a kid to kind of just run rampant on being entitled, and we walked away with a championship. It just never happened. Football guys don't love you for that. And so it's just one of those things where I'm really going to be asking the parents to really start trying to, you turned out well where you are parents, right? If you grew up and you had the mom that said steak wasn't for kids, and you're actually doing well in life, you grew up well. Don't feed kids. Like, no, it's because, this is where the entitlement comes from. I feel like, a lot of things start from home. I don't like to try to make parents like I'm bashing them, but I do want to educate the parents that it's okay to not give everything just because, maybe you didn't have everything growing up. And at the end of the day, you can't give them everything anyway. They need to earn. It need to be a earn type of thing with this thing. And as long as they understand that they got to earn certain things in the house, then, it's just like in the classroom. They got to earn the grades, just like on the football field. You got to earn your reps. Like, but just sitting around and expecting somebody to just give you the reps, or mad because you felt like I didn't give you the reps and now you're Nico, like, these are problems. And like I said, these things grow. They start off small, but they snowball into bigger issues where kids have a sense of entitlement. And then you got coaches, like you heard them say, like, I don't recruit. I'm trying not to recruit entitled kids, because entitled kids want money. They want to raise. They want stuff like that. Now, I'm looking for a kid that want to play and hope for reaching the final goal, whether that be a professional or whether that be, like I said, just being a great person, a great businessman, whatever that may be. That's what coaches, like good coaches, I'm guessing, that's what they should want. But I don't know, man. Maybe you guys want to dive into that real quick.
Yeah. So DM, I got a question for you. And
yeah,
you guys have listening to your show 49 out of 50 states, because Daniel burned Wisconsin earlier with the Milwaukee comments earlier. But how many school districts across the country? Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to throw you under the bus, Daniel. How many school districts are giving a kid a 50 for an assignment they didn't hand in? The sense of entitlement.
Just to keep them going. Just to keep them going.
Yeah.
No, wait. Now there is a theory out there that if you make a kid, I practiced it. It didn't work out for me, but I'm not saying it doesn't work out anywhere. If you give kids 50s and they don't do work, they still fail, right? But if that's the lowest score they can get, sorry, my kids are obviously going to attack me here. Then you can actually measure a kid's intelligence better than just their robotic skills to turn in assignments.
But now, Daniel, my question to you now, I have a kid who does do the work, who's having issues. He's not a good learner, and he gets a 45. Am I giving him a 45, and I'm giving a kid who does nothing a 50? Like, that to me is a sense of entitlement. You can do absolutely nothing in my class for 2 out of 3 months because I'm a health teacher, a phys ed teacher. So like I'm
Right.
going with a 1 mark in period class. You can
Right.
do nothing for 2 months, but then that 3rd month say, you want to know something? I'm going to do the minimum and I'm going to pass this class and be done with it. And we're moving them on. But that's a
Yeah.
sense of entitlement. But
It is.
that's the world that we've now lived in where, listen, I know I'm the old guy here on the show. DM, you got roasted earlier, but I got the handlebar mustache. You can't see that because I'm all gray on the sides here.
Oh, okay.
So it all goes down here. But back in my day, if I didn't do anything, I didn't get anything. And that was like not just in school, but that was in life. If I didn't do anything on practice fields, guess what I was doing? I was standing on the sideline next to the coach. If I didn't do anything at home, guess where I was? I was asking mom and dad if I could have dinner. Like, like that was my way of life. But today, society, we kind of allow that. And going to Kelvin Sampson, well, guess what? Like that kid grew up in that atmosphere. He's entitled. All of our kids to some point are entitled more than we were. If that makes any sense.
Right. No. Perfect. So that's interesting there that we got to figure out how do we control the level of entitlement that we have to deal with.
I don't know how much you can control with that because my question, not to show your age or anything like that. What was the requirements for y'all to play football in high school?
It was a try.
To get playing time or to be on a team?
No, I'm sorry. Grade wise, what were the requirements?
You had to be passing. I think a 60. My school was weird. A 93 was an A, so like a 92 was a B for my. They thought they were going to make us smarter by making our grades worse. I don't know. So like a 70 was failing for us, I think.
Wait. I got one better for you all.
So okay.
My school doesn't have Fs. We have E's. Because F dignifies failure. E is not passing. So it's A, B, C, D, E. Because if you have an F, it's like the old red pen. Like the red pen was like, oh no, you don't want a red pen because that's the devil.
Right.
No.
So where I'm at, a 60 is passing now. They lowered a 60 down to actually passing, right? That's crazy as hell.
So 60's been a D for most schools, right? 60, 70, 80, 90. So 60 was always a D.
Yeah.
Which was technically passing. A 59.9 is a F.
I think it was like a 65 or something like that, like 65 or 69 or something like that. But
it was a 65.
Yeah, but a 60 is passing. You got to have a 2.0, which is what these is easy. Just like you said, you quarter 2, quarter 3, you just played around. Quarter 4, you locked in because you know what your comment is coming around. So is that on the coach to know that? I know Daniel been messing around the second and third quarter, but fourth quarter he locked in, so everything on paperwork is good. He is one of our starting 11 kids. So how important is football to the coach? How important is this kid playing? How important is winning to you?
Well,
it's a slippery slope, though. That's a slippery slope because, see, the issue is if you, the coach, try to go and say, I know the standard was a 2.0, and I know he got the 2.0 on garbage. I'm not playing him. The moment you do that, now the power shifts to the parent and say, he can't tell my son he can't make the team because he has the required grades that he needs. So it's a real slippery slope. You really got to have a connection with those parents and say, okay, Coach Terrell said they got that. You really got to have a great relationship with your parents and say, parents, I understand. Let's say use the word, the number 60. 60 is the D, and they say that he can play with the D. But we have to have a higher standard for our kids. And I'm going to raise it to a 2.5, whatever that is. It's a C minus, I guess, whatever the case may be. And as long as he gets to that C minus, then we're going to allow him to play. And the best thing to do is try to get him to sign contracts on that, because word of mouth kind of goes in one ear and out the other whenever they're in trouble. And then you can say, this is the standard. If you got that, then that's the only thing a coach can do. Outside of that, I think, Mike, what you was talking about earlier, we're kind of restricted because of what the standard is on the state.
Yeah.
The standard says this, and you can't tell that kid no. I believe, maybe I know Coach Terrell is on, but I believe in North, the situation, which Coach Mark was on. North, the situation was the GPA was counted from the last 2 cycles before the sport. So as long as football is in the fall, right? So in November, so long as his 3rd cycle and 4th cycle was a GPA, I guess that was required by the state, he was good. So
Al's go 4th quarter.
So he bombs first,
fourth quarter,
like the first and the second. But 3rd and 4th, he turns it up and he's playing. Now, I think they did that because they figure multiple sport athletes, long as each kid does maybe 2 sports, then, let's say he plays football, so 3rd and 4th quarter got to be good. If he plays basketball, then, 1st quarter and the last quarter got to be good. I guess that's what the rhyme or reason for. I have no clue. But that was what one of the standards was in North New Jersey. Now, again, I don't agree to it, but as a coach, you got to understand that these kids are not in your house. So you just trapped either way. You trapped by the state, you trapped by the parent, you just trapped. So at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, like, well, if this might be the last football this kid going to play, I mean, maybe let him go. Let him play. Let him ball out. They ain't going to be able to ball out no other time.
But this is where the good support, the supporting staff, I want to say, your supporting staff comes into play, because you should have, I guess, built the bridge to, I got a struggling kid, to the counselor, I got a struggling kid, or the teachers. Hey, what could he do?
And the
blah blah.
Before has to be involved, the guardian, the parent has to be involved. Your support staff could be amazing. You can have study halls. You can have all of those things set up, all the type of parameters. Teachers staying afterwards, guidance counselors trying to put them in the right classes. If he still don't do nothing at home, then what?
Hey, Brandon, what did you say the average salary for the high school coach in Tallahassee was?
$22,000.
My kid's
about to go up, isn't it?
My kid's about to get a raise.
My kid's passing.
Listen, I'm sorry, for $22,000, I'm finding a way that kid's passing. I'm going up to the teacher and I'm talking. Hey, listen, man, I'll throw you $2,000. Get this kid a D. Like, I'm sorry, $22,000 is a lot of cash. And when you're talking stuff like that, like, yeah, I agree with DM. It's got to come down. Like, you want to build a program, there's got to be parameters not only at school but at home too. It's got to be together, because that coach is like, listen, hey coach, A, B, and C are ineligible. You're fired. Well, that's $22,000 out of my pocket. I'm sorry. Like that's big money that you're talking about there. And that's scary stuff. And they're going to do what they can. We're talking NILs and $8 million. Well, I'm a high school teacher. Give me $22,000. I'm a happy person.
I'm gonna take care of that grade.
It's a lot of chicken boxes.
Actually, you know what? Tell him all he has to do is these 2 assignments here. He give me those 2 assignments.
Well, no, nowadays you can go back in and redo them as many times as you want until you get the grade. And
depends on the teacher.
Doing them.
Depends on the teacher. Because I got some teachers that say when we're closed on that, we're closed on that. Can't go
down
back
here. These kids can go back, and these kids can go back, except for the tests and stuff. They can go back and back. Like,
go back to Coach Sampson. Go back to that's where I'm coming from as a teacher. Go back to Coach Sampson. The kids are entitled. I failed a class. I went home. I dealt with the consequences from mom and dad. You failed this class. What the hell are you doing? Your ass is upstairs. You're studying. I ain't playing Xbox. I ain't playing.
No playing.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Nintendo. Or back in my day, again, I'll show my age. I ain't going on this. I ain't going out for riding a bike.
Well, that's
I'm
the old school
delivering-
parents.
Yeah, but that's the point, though. Now it's okay. You failed the test. I'm going to call the teacher. You get to retake the test.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that ain't happening. Not with me.
we know when your classroom is up and it's stuck.
Because and I guess I'm looking at this from more of a spiritual thing for me. Is I'm in teachers, trainers, coaches. This is like a purpose-driven thing for me. So if we're trying to change these kids' lives, then we got to be the consistent one. So even me as a teacher, in my phys ed class, you only get graded on two things. You participate and you be prepared. Obviously have on the right stuff.
Amen.
If you're injured, a lot of times these parents go get doctor's notes and says, my kid is out for X amount of time because doctors write whatever.
Yep.
So, okay, you want to play those games? Now, since I can't grade you on participating and being prepared, now you got to write an essay for me. It's going to be 1,500 words with citations on the rules of pickleball. So if you try to play those games, I'm going to play those games too. So now when your parent emails me that you did the essay, but you did Chat GPT, and I have 98% that you copy and paste, now I have the receipt. So when your parent email me, I'm just going to hold the mirror up in front of your face. So you're going to learn accountability somewhere. If it's not at home, you're not going to go throughout your life and not say nobody taught me how to be accountable. No, I was entitled. Not with Coach Sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't gonna never. And whether I change that kid life or not, he gonna learn.
Listen, you've got a set of morals. You're holding your kids to a higher expectation. I'm there with you 1,000%. My question is, does your school back you on it as a school teacher? Because my school would be like, hey, Mike, this guy handed something in. Pass him. Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because the situation I'm in, they asked me to be in the school.
Yep.
So they knew what they were getting. And before I even took the job, I let them know, this is what you're getting. So if this is what you're getting, all I want is you to have my back. Because the moment you don't have my back, I'm out of here.
Yeah. No, and unfortunately, I wish I could say that.
It actually happened one time, my first year as a phys ed teacher, a kid, I was overruled. They gave the kid an A+ so she could be on principal's honors. You know what I did the next quarter?
Got an E.
Everybody got an A+. I didn't do no paperwork. I didn't do them not, because if we're gonna do this, then what am I working hard for? What am I collecting essays for? What am I storing all these doctor's notes for? What am I doing these things for if you just gonna give them an A+ anyway? How fair is that to everybody else? So you know what? So now I get a conversation, Coach, I see this quarter, everybody got an A+. I said, I thought that's what we doing. See,
I'd have walked out.
Because for me, I'm a fine work. My mother taught me how to be a worker. I was a janitor before. I was a plumber. My mother taught me how to work. So if you want to let me go because I'm holding everybody accountable, then that's fine. I'm gonna go find work. That's easy for me. I'm not gonna diminish integrity and doing the right thing and trying to teach these kids how to be honorable because you want to give somebody a pass. And if I don't longer need to be here, that's fine with me. I'll just go back and find work somewhere else. My family always gonna be taken care of. And that's just the standard I carry everywhere. So everybody in Jersey that know Coach Sheed, they know Coach Sheed. And I'm not bending on anything, especially when it comes to these kids. Because when
Coach, I appreciate the honesty and the morals there, because unfortunately, I wish I could say that from the public schools here in Jersey. It's not the same. And
because it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. It's money and all that other nonsense. What are we really doing this for? That's why I always hold parents accountable on this show. The adults accountable. The coaches accountable. We can say the kids all we want, but who's raising them?
Yeah.
That's at home. That's as a coach. That's as a trainer. Who's raising them?
Half from raising that self.
The teachers. We're around these kids more than their parents sometimes. So who's really raising them? So if they're
There's
not
been
getting
so
it at
many
home,
times
it's our job.
I give the kids the grade that they earn. And when the when the administration changes the grade, I'm like, listen, I'll put my head down on the pillow tonight and I will go to sleep knowing I did the right by that kid. You want to change their grade? You do it.
Yeah.
It's out of my hands at that point in time.
Exactly. That's exactly what I did. All right. Everybody, I'm not doing all this work then. If this is the standard you're saying, then it is what it is.
I know we've gotten down this rabbit hole now. So like we deal in Oklahoma with about a 50% IEP right now for all students in public school. And I believe we talked about entitlement. I think that is parents' entitlement for their kids should have it special. Their kids should get all the easy way. Their kids shouldn't ever get a bad grade because they will. My oldest son is different. All right?
It's not funny, DM.
My oldest son is different.
Brandon, get the buzzer because Daniel's right here.
He's not the same as all the other kids. He's hella intelligent, and he has a weird sock thing where he doesn't want to wear his socks the right way out, right? So like my oldest son, but I will never, ever title my kid with a dadgum tag of any kind. You know what I mean? He's not getting titled. He's not getting labeled. There are parents that will literally beg to get their kids deemed autistic. They are lack of intelligence. My kid is low IQ. They want their kids to be dumb so that they can get an easy way in life. Talking about entitlement. So when we start, I mean, we're hammering it out of the public schools right now, right? Like I had a student last year who for 3 months of school had no issues. She turned in her stuff on time, no big deal. She turns in an assignment late. I gave her a 0. I tried the 50 for 3 days. And then I tried 10 points off every day for 5 days. I tried so many things. Kids just took advantage. So fine. If it's a day late, it's a 0 and we ain't turning nothing in. I'm tired of taking work home.
Right.
Yeah.
I was punished by my administration because not really punished, but told that I will do things differently because this student has an IEP. Guess what her IEP said? So-and-so can turn in any assignment up to 24 hours late without punishment, without a loss of grade. Guess what she did for the rest of the year? Everything was a day late.
Yeah, because it's lazy parenting too. Because now it's like
entitlement is so deep.
My kid, I don't want to parent I don't want to be a parent to my kids because they've got quote unquote issues. All right, let's just label them. So now someone else got to deal with it.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. You will never ever catch me letting my kid be labeled with nothing.
Hey, now here's a question for you guys.
65 and he's a 1.0 student. Hey, let's go, son.
Here's a question for you guys.
Something you can do.
We dove down this rabbit hole. You guys as coaches, me as a coach and as an official, am I not going to throw a flag because the kid's got an IEP?
No,
that kid teed off on somebody. I'm sorry, that's a penalty. No, your son doesn't know the plays. I can't get him on the field because he's going to get somebody else hurt. What do we now? There are legitimate kids that deserve IEPs that are not students in general. Like I'm not doubting that as an educator.
Right.
But what Daniel's saying is there are so many parents that want that label for their kid to get them that built-in excuse to be not the student they can be.
Mike, it ain't no different in life. It ain't no different than these parents that are coattailing off their son's NIL. We talked about NIL. There ain't not one damn difference.
Yeah.
Not one.
But that's the society thing that I was talking about earlier. Like it's not just the coaches, it's the kids, it's everything. It's being loud.
It's the adults, man. We gotta be more. We gotta be better adults.
But the part I struggle with is okay. My IEP can be my IEP, but like then Mike, why can't only you and the teacher know that? You know what I'm like? Why does there's things where I'm like kids know their IEP.
Hell yeah, they do. They need to take advantage of it. They need to make sure they aren't being
right.
But
that's the problem.
With that student, I didn't read them all. Brother, I said 50-50. I'm not lying.
Mhm.
And I've got 35 kids in a class because this is Oklahoma.
Right.
How am I going to know 17 and a half or whatever IEPs? I can't know all the exact language.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no way. I can't. And I'm teaching 7 hours.
Mm-mm.
There ain't no way. How am I going to know 100 IEPs by the language, like by word for word? I'm not.
Right.
So I
Right.
see IEP, and so then I do exactly what she did. Everybody has an IEP now. Everybody has the same.
Yeah.
We all got an extra day to turn it in. And so when the principal says, "Hey, so and so," hey, I gave the whole class an extra day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm teaching my AP students to an IEP. Like I had to dumb down everything to everybody because I got it. Now I'm health and phys ed, like Coach Sheed. I got to give everybody an even playing field. Like, oh, why'd you give so and so that opportunity, but not me? I'm like, you want to know something? You're right. So I'm going to teach it to one playing field, and unfortunately, it's the lowest playing field because that's what I'm being told I got to do.
Unfortunately,
So I'm confused now. I didn't know the IEP was. Well, I did know it was custom to each child, but I didn't know it was that detailed.
Yeah.
The school I coach at, we are like 60% of IEP. Like, just come there because that's we take the time and and we take time and patience. I didn't know it was like that though. I just thought that I don't want to say the wrong thing. But I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know it was that detailed.
Now. It's
I didn't know.
Now. It's not only just all right, give the student extra time to take a test. You know, it's even more. All right, the student has to leave 5 minutes early to walk to the next class.
Let's go.
It's
On
like,
I thought it was more of like he has trouble focusing, especially if he get around his friends or his phone or something like that. I didn't know it went like that.
Yeah, no, I do.
They can write whatever they want, and as soon as you don't follow it, you are the biggest criminal in the state.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, think about when you took your SATs or ACTs or whatever it was. You had a question, and it gave you like 4 choices. Well, student A's IEP can say, well, they can only have 3 choices.
2 choices.
But student B
you gotta have
4 choices.
this or that.
And student C can have 2 choices. And you can't ask a true and false question to student D. And they're all in the same class together. So I got to teach to student D who can only have 2 choices. And I'm doing a disservice to the kids that might be. And again, I'm not trying to say it negatively to that. If student E truly deserves those accommodations, I'm going to do everything I can to help that kid out
Absolutely.
on all aspects of life.
Right.
But like Coach Sheep was saying, it's an excuse for some kids that the parents are allowing.
And just a disclaimer to the people watching, we're not attacking nobody.
No.
This is a different type of podcast where we're going to talk have the tough conversations because it needs to be had. So we're not attacking anybody. You know, we just giving out information and having those tough conversations because tough conversations can sometimes be healthy. Well, all the time be healthy. So we're not attacking anybody with this. I just wanted to make sure we put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
So can you get a check for having an IEP?
That I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't
Like a disability check
for not having an IEP?
No, I'm saying for having one. Like is he pushing the issue that much? Like can you get a check for that, or can your parents
I know
get
what
a
you're trying
check
to
for
say.
that?
If I put my kid on the IEP and he has a lot of requirements, can I get a check because he's on the IEP?
Right. Since everybody pushing it so much, is it a money issue? Is it like
why are they pushing it so much?
I'm trying to get a grip on it.
I think in the end, if they can get into a better college for free because they have a higher GPA because you made it impossible for them to get a B, absolutely, it's a check. Hey, my son's got a 4.0. Congratulations. He could not turn an assignment in late because you made him have an IEP. Like,
Brandon, I think it's many different situations, and we all will agree
Yeah.
why certain kids have IEPs. Like we said, we have some legit kids who have legit issues and need an IEP.
Most of them.
Okay.
Most of them.
Yes, right. I can tell you from what I know of loopholes, right? People were trying. I know people who have tried to find the loopholes, and this was a loophole. Like she said earlier, one of the loopholes was, hey, if your kid has an IEP, he gets to take more time on the SAT. Yeah. So that was one of the loopholes how this thing blew up. Another loophole was, hey, if he has an IEP, he probably could easily get a 4.0 and get into that school that he needs to get to. Yeah. So we're not, it's some situations that are legit and there's some loophole finders in these situations. But it's hard for the teachers that I got on. I love it. Mikey, my brother Rel, let's see him checking in at the bottom. It's very hard for the teachers to have to sit there and decipher this thing, right? On who legitly needs, who legitly don't need, and then like how Dan and Mike said, have administrators looking down on it, like, all right, get it done. It's like, all right, listen, I'm just want to go home. I want to come in here, teach these kids, help these kids, go home. But it's a lot of stuff that happens in between those lines where, it's tough. But
you ever been to the doctor?
My son.
Oh, go ahead, B.
So my son, when they go get water, my son can get Gatorade.
I don't know, man. It's what's written, sir. I don't know. I don't understand.
And you have to legally follow it because they make you. I know in my school they make you sign. Any kid that has an IEP, the guidance office, my guidance office, they make you go sign that you acknowledge that they have the whatever is on their requirement, that you acknowledge it.
Because somebody got to get blamed, Brandon. Somebody has to get blamed.
It's going to be a fall guy. You ain't worried about that part.
Right, but instead of you saying it's the parent fault, no, we got documentation. Somebody's going to get blamed for this. That's how this works. So do your job, as they would say. Do your job.
Yeah, you ever been to the doctor and the doctor asks, hey, man, how long do you want to be out?
No.
Yeah.
The doctor say, hey, how long you want to be out? 2 weeks is fine. You come back in 2 weeks. Hey, you need more time? What do you?
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. Out for 3 weeks. And legally, you got to follow what the doctor's note says.
Yeah.
But that's what a lot of my kids do, that because they don't want to do physical education. They don't want to do anything. Okay, cool. So since you keep getting these doctor's notes, you're going to have to do an essay for me every 2 weeks.
So you know what's crazy with that sheet is you said that they keep bringing these doctor's notes in there and whatnot, right? So we got an athletic trainer now. I don't know if it's the same situation or not, but we got an athletic trainer. He's in the building all the time. We can't approve the physicals anymore. He has to go through and prove every single physical for the sports, right? So he actually
the physical.
No, so he actually now he calls the doctor office and confirms the physical now, like every single one. So with those notes, could they call and confirm?
We have a nurse in the building, so we caught a kid with a fake doctor's note. She'll call or verify. Hey, we got a doctor's note from your office. Is this legit? If the doctor says it's no, then obviously the kid, whatever consequences happen. But a lot of times these doctor's notes are legit because you're telling the doctor how long you're supposed to be out when it's supposed to be the opposite. Mm-hmm. The doctor's supposed to say, hey, your bone is going to take 4 weeks to heal. You're going to be out for 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, you're good. But they're asking you, how long do you want to be out? Oh, let me see. The quarter is 6 weeks. Hey, I want to be out 6 weeks. So now you out for the whole quarter. And then you expect to get an A+ in gym class, and you did nothing. Oh, no. You got to give me something. That's not how the world works.
All right.
Got to
So
be more
Brandon,
careful.
let's take this full circle now.
It's a
Let's
great
go
show,
back
guys.
to
Go back to Nico.
young man in LSU, Nico, and all the transfer stuff. You got a kid, can't fail out of school. He's gonna be eligible. He's gonna get into these schools now. Now he's getting paid $8 million, but the kid can't spell his own name because he's got an IEP and he's gone through the whole process with mom and dad getting him a doctor's note. Now he's getting paid $8 million, and now he's driving 120 miles an hour down the road and possibly taking out the life of somebody else potentially because he's a young man who's got $8 million at 19 years old. Like this is what we're building. Where if I couldn't spell my name, I'm slinging garbage cans. And you want to know something? I ain't knocking that because that's a profession. That's a skill. Like it's a need.
And they get paid.
You need to live.
Didn't you get points for on the SAT for spelling your name the right way? Then wasn't
Yeah.
it like
I mean, like, come on.
You get like 100 points just for spelling your name right. And people still didn't get that 100 points.
What we're gonna say here is we're gonna say that we all gotta continue to work.
Yep.
So that's what this is. No days off. Parents, kids, and everybody around. You know, we got no days off. We gotta keep working. We gotta keep pushing. We gotta keep talking to people. Like I said with the situation earlier, we have to. You know, there's no days off at trying to be the best version of yourself. Right. And so I want to make sure that everybody understands that. B, I know you saying we wrapping it up soon. I know my clock is up. I got my text message. So I want to make sure Mike, always appreciate, love you being on the show, man. Definitely gave us some great content tonight, man. It was amazing. Dan, Regulus. Good to see you come through in the clutch, man. You know, that was the game time decision. She pulled up on us.
You can't say you're not. You can't tell people to be accountable and consistent if you're not. So,
no doubt. So I got the Blues Brothers here between Dan.
There you go, Dan. Yeah. You can be like Ebony and Ivory. You heard?
Let's go, baby.
You could be Ebony though. You Ebony. I'm
Pepper. Let's go, Pepper.
So again, everybody.
I got my empty whiskey glasses.
No, hey, I like those glasses. Again, everybody, please, like I said, thank you for being on the show, Brandon. We got to work on getting that buzzer, all right? Because we're getting out of hand here. You already know. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into this show tonight. I think it was a great, great jam-packed show. Lots of information, a lot of good things. Thank you for everybody on the check-in. Mr. Hathaway, Coach Terrell, all of you guys who jumped in to check in. It's an honor for y'all to spend some time with us. Let's make sure that we like, share, subscribe to the show. Tune in to Sand Sports Multimedia. There's more shows like this on it, but this is the best one. So make sure every 2 weeks you're tuned in right here to the Coach's Corner. You already know. Everybody's, again, like I've been saying to people, have a great day tomorrow. Be positive. Be inspired. Just be a best version of you as you possibly be. You got it. Just go do it. You already know.
Amen.